Miss Lee, are you on?
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking. We gotta be careful. People don't hear what we're saying. Secrets. Oh, this is Dan and Lee and our biblical economics, and it is our last class on this subject. So I hope we get through this because I want it to be. I'm tired of this. I want to go back to Life Crisis Theory. But anyway, this is our theme song of biblical economics. Miss Lee, we started in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. What was the most important thing that happened in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1? We're going through it quick.
I don't know. What are you
You
asking
know.
me?
If you don't know, how will these people out there know what we're saying?
God spoke, and he created, and he developed. And
out of nothing.
Out of nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
And what did he make?
He made everything.
Heavens and the earth, okay? And he made the laws of nature, and he made the laws of physics, and he made all this stuff.
All the fish that swam in the sea, all the birds.
No. Genesis chapter 1, you're way ahead. This is first. He made the stuff. That's the basic. First, in any business venture, you got to gather the stuff. You got to get your loans, you got to get your buildings, you got to get your whatever.
So in other words, the raw materials.
The raw materials. Okay, that's Genesis chapter 1. Then we have the 6 days. And God did what?
Don't ask me which days, but he created the earth, he created the heavens, he made the sun and the moon and the stars, he created the waters, he separated them, put some here, put some there.
He organized the stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to use the word stuff.
Oh, okay.
He organized the stuff.
And he created.
For a purpose.
Yeah.
What was the purpose?
Okay, well, I haven't finished with the stuff yet. He made the animals.
You're getting way too bogged down in the details.
Okay, what was to glorify him? That's the end thing.
He made the stuff to glorify him. That's why we're trying to go through this real fast. Okay. First, he made out of nothing. He made the stuff. Okay, I know the details bog you down. He made the stuff.
Okay,
then the next 6 days, he took the stuff and organized it for a purpose. And the purpose was what? I asked you this once before, and you didn't quite get it, but now you can get it. And
be fruitful, multiply.
No.
To glorify him.
To glorify him. That's why I said you said this once. To glorify him. Okay. We're gonna start again.
I don't work well under pressure.
First, in the beginning, Genesis 1, God made the stuff. Okay, that's.
Yeah, thinking all the details.
Please, so bogged down in. I gotta know every little detail. No, we want the general.
Okay, made the stuff.
The stuff. Okay, the stuff. Then he took the stuff, and the stuff was both the physical stuff, energy and mass, and it was the laws of nature, physics, chemistry, whatever. Okay, and gravity, and all those laws. And then in the next 6 days, he took all that stuff and he organized it for a purpose. What was the purpose?
To glorify him.
Oh, you get the 10 points. I buy you lunch today. You're awesome. Okay? Okay, so this is the quick economics of the Bible. See, the Bible is in economics. He made the stuff to glorify him. Now, how do we know we're glorifying him? You already said this once.
I don't know what you're asking.
Okay, what? He gave us a commandment and a blessing.
Be fruitful, multiply. Is this it?
Just say it.
Earth, rule it, subdue it.
Okay, he made man in his image to live as he would right here, and he told him, do this.
Right.
Be fruitful, multiply, fill, rule, and subdue. And I think we just lost the thing. It went away.
We're doing all
I think we did all that. No, it's still here. I think we're still recording. It looked like we lost it.
Well, we're crazy today, so we'll try to finish it.
Oh, we're still going. All right. We didn't lose it. You were all listening to the background. See, the problem we have is we don't have much stuff.
We don't have as much stuff as
we don't have much resources. We're old and retired, and we just use what we have. And that's what we do.
And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it works, and it looked like it went away, but it didn't go away.
Okay, so let's finish.
So we're going to start again. Okay, first Genesis chapter 1, God made the
stuff.
Then he took the stuff and he organized it For a purpose. What was the purpose?
To glorify him.
To glorify him. And what glorified him the most was he made man in his image, to be in his likeness, to act as he would act on the earth. And man was given a way to know if he was acting that way, and it was a blessing and a commandment. What was it?
Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, rule it, and subdue it.
That's right. And so therefore, man had a garden in which to do this. It was beautiful. And, you know, I've been listening to music this week, different songs, and there's so many songs about, I just want to live in paradise. Well, man was made to live in paradise. That's why we yearn to live in paradise. The problem was we became what?
Sinners?
Weeds. Sinners.
Quitters.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sinners. In other words, Adam and Eve both rebelled against God's commandment of to not eat. They used their free won't. They became
Man
sinners.
tries to bloom in the wrong place.
That's right.
So he's a weed.
He wanted to bloom in the wrong place. That's a good way. He became a weed. So as a weed, things got really bad, and there became murders, and there became a destruction, and a really bad. And then so God was so unpleased that he wanted to destroy all of mankind, but he found Noah. And Noah was then given a commandment, which was a little different than be fruitful. It was prepare for disaster. And what was he to do?
He had to build an ark.
Yeah, build an ark. That's all. And so he had an ark. And if you want to know about the ark, you go to where?
I don't know.
To the ark. It's up
Oh,
there.
that. See, this is.
Come on, keep going.
The ark. The ark they have a place up in Tennessee.
In Cincinnati, Kentucky area.
Good.
There's the ark. There's a replica of the ark Ken Ham has built. It's awesome. You should go see it. And when people say, "Oh, that wouldn't work," or "Couldn't be enough," it wasn't big enough. Yes, it was. There's talks on the internet you can hear that all the animals that needed to live, because only the ones that breathe needed to be on the ark, they could fit on one level of the ark. There could be food on the other, and the tennis courts could be on the third.
All right.
So there were lots of room on the ark for everything. And then they came off the ark. God totally destroyed the earth. And that's why when we look around and everybody says, "Oh, isn't creation so beautiful?" Are they telling the truth?
No, they don't realize that this is the result of the fall.
This is the destruction. If God's destruction is this beautiful,
imagine what paradise is
imagine what paradise was. Now, the problem was that paradise was in the past. It's paradise lost. Now, we need to find a new paradise.
Not paradise found.
So God had a paradise that was, he wanted to redeem man, so he came and he built a nation that would continually fail, and the Tower of Babel, because man was going to build then, after the flood, he was going to build a world that was based on humanism.
He gave man a lot of chances.
On man. Man kept trying, and they kept destroying it because it was self-destructive. So, and now we're facing a new worldview that is very much like the Tower of Babel. And over the last few weeks, we've been watching the Olympics. Now, what was it that we saw in the Olympics? Because we watched the beginning and end and a little bit in between. But it was so boring, we didn't want to watch too much of it.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, what was?
Oh, well,
what did you see they were saying?
I would say they're wanting to say, "We are the world. Let's all be one and live happily together."
The new Tower of Babel. It was like we're going to reach up to heaven and we're going to do this.
That's kind of what that flame thing is.
That's
it's
right.
Like, let's all worship the flame.
They worshipped into heaven. It was like we're going to reach up. The problem is and that's the evolutionary thing. They see the earth is running down. These things are wearing out. They see, when you build something, it tends to decay. Yeah. Decay is the problem. Now, what is decay?
It's rotting and dying.
It's dying. It's death. Yeah. The cosmos is dying. Since the flood, or since the fall, the cosmos is dying. The minute Adam sinned, he died. What happened? God is the source of all power. He was separated from God, so therefore Adam began to die. Now, God didn't leave it there because he had a plan. And so then he brought his nation, he established his temple, he established all these principles we don't have time to go into. If you want to go into a quick overview of the Bible, go to the Bible Project. That you can go through the whole Bible in about 2 days of real solid listening. Then it's really well stated. But here, now we come to the evolutionist and the environmentalist want to say this?
Save the earth?
Bad dream.
Oh, bad dream.
That
Nightmare.
they can't save the earth. They can't save it.
Mm.
But there is hope. And that's what we as Christians. And what really made me start thinking about this, we've been studying, we went to the movie about
The
Churchill.
Darkest Hour.
The Darkest Hour. We really recommend it.
Tremendous
You
movie.
should read.
Tremendous.
But then there's a couple more on HBO and different places that we saw too.
Mhm.
They were good too. They all kind of fill little holes that were a little different. What was so amazing about this is that, and I forgot what was so amazing about this.
I don't know what you're going to say.
We talked about how Churchill. They were in the darkest hour. Churchill. Oh, I know what it was. The idea that the King of England in one of the movies, and I don't remember which one it was, said maybe the New World could save us.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
The
New world will have to come save the old world.
The New World will have to save the old world.
Which they were talking about America. Right.
But again, the New World has taken God's principles of be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, rule it, subdue it, applied it into their system of law, and created what we call the individual rights, the development of the individual, as opposed to the groupism or the tribalism. That the whole old world is tribal.
Yeah.
And the tribes just vote in a king, and they keep having a new king, and they keep wanting a new king.
Or they kill him, and they have a new king.
But see, it's always the tribe.
Yeah.
Where, no, our rights are individual rights. That's why this battle on guns...
Each person in America has a say in who will be their leader.
That's right. But each person has absolute say in their decisions.
Right.
In other words, the king can't tell me certain things. He can't tell me what I can say.
Mm-hmm.
The king can't tell me what I can write.
One of the unique things about the United States.
The king can't tell me who I can worship. Mm-hmm. The king can't tell me that I can't defend myself with any kind of weapon I want to. That's called guns. And I'm sorry, say it quietly. Guns. Because I know animists believe objects are evil versus people. Are people evil or objects evil?
People are.
There is
no one good.
There is an evil within nature and that is decaying, but the object doesn't cause the evil, the heart of man does. Because God has given us a way to overcome. And the Bible is such amazing. The basic principle of the economics of the Bible is the individual is to mix his creativity with his labor into resources as God did and overcome the decay. And we do that until the Lord returns. Now, will the Lord return? And that's where we're going today. Because the new world is where the answer is. But the new world is not America. It's not. It's still kind of the old world mixed with the new world. It is new in the sense of the individual.
Yeah.
We are the temples. See, the shift, oh, I can't believe it all went away. Oh, wait, no, it's still here. I had all this stuff here. And
more technology flaws.
Technology drives me crazy. Okay. When you try to do everything yourself, sometimes it doesn't get done right. Let's see. Did I not put it on my phone? Maybe I didn't put it on my phone. Okay. So the new world is in Revelation, chapters 21. Let me see if I can find the verses, because I had these verses. Yeah, here they are. Okay. The new world was in chapter 21, and it goes Revelations 21. It goes all the way through the Bible, and it culminates in Revelations chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, a new world. This is the new world. Mm-hmm. From the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. So it's telling us this cosmos is dying.
What we see. Well, yeah, what we see right now. Our sun, our moon, our stars, our earth that we walk on.
And everybody thinks we're going to run out of room, okay? But this gives us a hint. No, we're not. Because, and the sea was no more. So there's no more sea. Now, in Isaiah it says, I am about to create a new heaven and a new earth, okay? And the former things that shall not be remembered or come to your mind. In other words, you're not even going to remember this.
You're not going to, yeah.
You're just going to go on, okay?
You're not going to be sad that,
and then in Isaiah 66:22, it says, for as the new heaven and new earth which I will make, in other words, we don't make it. It isn't a humanist thing. We
God's
trust
make it.
and obey, and obeying the principles God's given us, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, rule it, do it to the glory of God. Do all things, including economics, to God's glory. We don't do it for greed, and we don't do it for stealing from one person to give to another, which is communism and capitalism. The new heaven and new earth is based within the economics of glorifying God, which is what all things were made to do. That's why systems fail, because the systems of economics that are not based in God's revelation of glorifying God will ultimately fail. And in Isaiah, it says in 66:22, it says, for the new heaven and the new earth, which I will make. See, God will make this. We can't do it. Now, we overcome the old world. We can live here, but there's always weeds. It's always hard. Yeah. It's always storms. It's always nature attacking us. It's always people attacking us. There's always problems. It's not utopia. And it ain't going to be utopia. There is no utopia until the new heaven and new earth. And he goes on to say, I will make this new heaven and new earth, shall remain before me, says the Lord, shall your descendants, and I got to read this whole thing again. I'm messing it up. For as the new heaven and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, says the Lord, so shall your descendants and your name remain. In other words, God's promising that the world's going to remain, the new heaven and new earth, but you people are too. In other words, he's talking specifically to Israel, but through this he's talking to the descendants of Abraham, to me and you, which are Christians, that we will remain. And we're made actually for the new heaven and the new earth. We're only overcoming at this time. Our economics is an economics of overcoming and constantly being at war. And I can't tell you how many times I talk to people and they say, I just get so tired of fighting. You ever hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Have you think of any good stories?
No, not off the top of my head.
You're supposed to do that.
Sorry.
But in 2 Peter 3...
I get tired myself of fighting.
Oh,
sometimes.
there you go.
Okay, here's a good example.
I knew you. If I yelled at you, you'd get something.
It's like we got this wonderful gift of this car. It was a blessing in
God gave us this really fabulous car because we'd gone through 3 cars in like 6 months that they'd awful. Blown up, they'd wrecked, they'd just everything. We just kept having, and we kept running, and we had no resources. I mean, we were down to nothing. So we got to hurry.
So we get this car. It's been going really good. We knew that we had to plan for getting new tires for it. There's a couple things that needed.
That was about 8 months ago. We got the new car.
All
Go
these
ahead.
things happen. Okay, so we start. So other things happen. We always have financial.
Just go ahead. You're getting the bogged down.
So we get to the point where we're going. Okay, we got this one tire that.
And we have a pump, so we kept pumping it up. Yeah. It's an automatic pump.
One tire was like every day.
All 3 tires were going down.
3 tires were going down almost every day.
And we're praying, and we're saving, and we're trying to make a little extra money here and there to try to find a way to get tires. Nothing's working.
Then we start looking at new tires. Okay, how can we do this in our budget? They're like at least $100 a tire.
Yeah, they're 17-inch tires.
One tire.
Probably more like 130 by the time you pay all the fees.
Everything. So one tire is pretty much beyond our monthly budget. But then we're figuring it out. So then he goes out this one day. Dan goes out this one day, and the tire, it's gone. And he tries to fix it.
So I bought a kit to fix it with for a couple bucks.
And it blows up.
And I can't. It doesn't work. Yeah. I can't get it to work. I mean, I wore myself out on about a 4.5 to 5 hour work day.
This is an old man trying to
Well, underneath the car, pushing and trudging and doing this.
Okay, so
I couldn't get it fixed, so I ended up with no tire. It's sitting in our yard.
Okay.
I got depressed.
Okay, so then he goes to look in the car. There's no spare and there's no jack. So here we are. No, 3 flat tires basically, and we just start praying. We go, Lord, We don't know what
Well,
to
I
do.
didn't even just start praying. I just laid down
He was
and went
really
to sleep and
depressed.
prayed as I woke up.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what to do.
It was
Okay, now
it was beyond our life.
conclude the story.
And so then, out of the blue, well, not out of the blue, he kind of shared it with a couple of people.
Yeah, I'd shared it, but not a lot. I'd
Not
had
a
some
lot,
people ask
no.
if they couldn't do anything. I didn't tell them.
And so then our friend calls up early Saturday
8 o'clock
morning.
in the morning.
He says, "I got you 4 tires." I go, "What? You got us 4 tires?" So he got us 4 tires.
But they had to be put on the car.
So that they
which
had to
I
be,
didn't really have the money to do that either,
Yeah.
because that was $60 to get the tires put on.
to put them on the rims.
Yeah,
Put them on
yeah. Take the others off, put these
right.
on.
So he said, okay, he was going to take care of that. He came over, he got Dan, they went and did this, that, and the other. It was like...
It was an all-day trek because I didn't have a jack.
Started about 8 o'clock in the morning,
Okay.
Got finished about 6 o'clock at
Yeah.
night. We're blessed with 4
And
wonderful
as
tires.
of right now, we have 4 wonderful tires, and we're going to get to go to the grocery store after we finish the show.
So,
because we haven't been able to get to the grocery store in that time.
Fighting, yes.
It's
fighting.
a war. But see, I get depressed, but I know that's what I'm here for. So when I get to where I can no longer do anything,
nothing that we can see possible
I couldn't
to do.
see any more that I could do. I knew I could do one thing.
Pray.
I prayed. And Lee and I prayed together, but I just kind of... And Lee would get real, why didn't you get up and do something? I said, why? I can't get anywhere. I can't do anything. So anyway, but God, and that's why the environmentalists think we have to save the earth. Because they're in their depression. They have come to the conclusion that it's going to die. See, they have come to the point the earth is dying. Except they have resolved. And therefore, we humans need to rise up and take over and make the... You got to stay on the show, Lee. Lee's so easy to get distracted. We cannot go to solving this ourselves.
Yeah.
It's got to be the
God
Lord.
gives us a mind. He gives us our creativity, our resources, and our labor, but we can't always find a solution.
And when we can't, the Lord is there.
We have to
and that is the economics of the Bible.
Yeah.
We have a hidden resource. The environmentalists do not have that hidden resource. So that's when you watch the Olympics, they're talking about building the Tower of Babel and reaching to heaven.
That's sure what it seems
and
like.
Well, no, it wasn't seem. It was clear. And that is humanism. One world government, Tower of Babel. Get rid of the Christians because they're hindering us from getting to the new world. The new world to them is one world government. The new world to us is the living God will bring heaven and earth. And if you want to read this, read in Revelation chapter 21, the whole story. But here's a summary. But in accord with his promise, we wait for new heavens and new earth. Now,
Amen.
It says heavens because the Bible refers to heavens as the cosmos in outer space, as the atmosphere, and as a place where God lives. There's really 3 heavens in the Bible. That's why there's new heavens and a new earth. The earth will be new, where righteousness is at home. In other words, in this new heaven that is coming, that we look to, that we yearn for, that we want, in our economics, God will have no weeds.
And righteousness.
That's righteousness. Things will do what they're supposed to do. Yeah. You will do what you're supposed to do.
Always.
Your next door neighbor will do what he's supposed to do. By nature. Yeah. Not because we will. See, our will be engulfed within God's purpose, and we will not say to God, no.
And
because our body will be new.
Yeah, and it's another way we fight today, because we fight to do what is right. We want, as a Christian, we want to do what is right, but we have to fight the world, the flesh, and the devil.
And that's very important. The world is attacking, the flesh is attacking, and the devil is attacking. In this new heaven and new earth, The world will not be
We won't have
attacking
to
because
worry
it will
about
be
those.
designed to be fruitful, to multiply, to fill the earth, to rule it, to glorify God. In this new heaven and this new earth, the devil will not be attacking, because this is another place in Revelation.
Yeah.
He will be locked up in eternal separation from God. It's called hell. And all that follow him will go there. Okay? Not because God puts them there, because they have no key to get into the new heaven and earth.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a key. The door has to be open. That's why the Bible says Jesus is the door. He is the keys to the kingdom. Peter was given those keys, but it isn't the church. It's Christ is the key to open the door.
And your name
to
has to be written
in the Lamb's book of life.
life.
Okay, so there in the new heaven is the hope of the environmentalists. It's eternal sustainability. And that is what we as Christians are doing. We're not bad economists. We're actually really good economists. But our economy is based on reality of the earth is dying. Reality is that I am evil myself. The reality that there is a devil that is trying to destroy even God. He wants to raise up and become as the Most High, but he can't, because only God is all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-present.
All the alls.
Any finite being cannot rise up and become that, but we can be forever learning and growing. And that's the way the seed works. God put the seed in it. He put the after their own kind into the animals, and we reproduce after our own kind. We are forever multiplying. That is the eternal perspective. So what are we here for, Lee?
To glorify God.
How do we do that?
Got my mind going. Being fruitful. Is this right? Fruitful, multiply, fill, rule, and subdue the earth.
See, I don't stop you if you're going the right way. I just only stop you if you're going down a dead-end street. So here we are, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, rule it. And the whole rest of the Bible are all these little positive and negative commandments to keep us on the road of fruitfulness. That is the biblical economics. So what do we not want not to be?
Weeds.
I've been changed from a weed to a flower and placed in the master's bouquet.
So isn't it wonderful that now we can be flowers that live in the eternal state? And I call it, I even have a webpage called this, I just blanked out, the eternal treasure chest. See, as a businessman, you were always told to put savings aside for the future, okay? Put it in the bank. Store it in investment. Well, the Bible talks about that is where moths and thieves break in, that rot comes. We are to put it into the eternal. That's why we give to God's purposes. That's why we work toward God's purposes. That's why we think toward God's purposes versus the economics of just the temporal earth. The reason I don't love the earth, one is the Bible says don't love the earth. But as a biblicist, that's a reason. But the other reason I don't love the earth, because it's dead. Now, is it dead in the sense that nothing is growing? No. It is dead in the sense it has no eternal future. So you store stuff in the eternal treasure chest. That's why you serve the Lord. And all of us don't have the same amount of faith or the same calling or the same purpose. I'm not saying become a preacher. I'm saying with your creativity, your labor, and your resources, do it to the glory of God. And that transfers your time, your talents, your treasures to the eternal treasure chest that are waiting for you in heaven.
That's why we have always encouraged people, like especially I don't know, I think of it as young mothers think they're not doing anything because all they're doing is changing dirty diapers and wiping up throw up. That goes into the eternal treasure.
Well, you know, that brings up, and I'm
going
to end with this, but that brings up the issue, is the humanist began to tell the women, well, you do nothing of meaning.
Right.
You need to get a career so you can put stuff in the bank and have retirement. Well, your retirement is right there in your children. The eternal treasure chest is that you disciple them, you train them to live to the glory of God. And that then goes into the eternal treasure chest. And I'm listening to this series by John Batchelor, and everybody should listen to it. Right now, it's about a new book about Martha Washington. And she's amazing of how she saw how important this eternal treasure chest was. But, so the biblical economics, God made stuff, then he organized the stuff, then this stuff was manufactured into little plants that are fruitful, multiply, filling, and ruling, and then he made someone to organize that so that it could be to God's glory, and they were told that was Adam and Eve, and they were told to be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and rule it. And they could do that, except they rebelled. So then it became harder. So then we have weeds, and we're a weed, and we should be a flower. So Christ came, and when Jesus died on the cross,
He said
what?
It is finished.
Paid in full. It is finished. So he is our certificate of debt. That's an economic term. And he has bought us with a price, his own blood. And now we have the right to enter into the eternal treasure chest, which is the new heaven and the new earth. Miss Lee, this is our last in our series of biblical economics. You want to say goodbye?
Goodbye. It's been good.
And now we're heading back to the life of Christ because we're not finished with the life of Christ. Class is over.